Happy July 2nd, which means it's the second day of Camp NaNoWriMo. I have written a grand total of 0 words so far. I'm really excited. This is going to be a very successful and productive month. Why do I do this to myself? Why? Hello, good morning, welcome to the vlog. It is Camp NaNoWriMo day 2. So we should probably talk about what I'm actually doing for Camp NaNoWriMo. I didn't manage to make a video about it. If you don't know what NaNoWriMo is, there's a link in my bio. It will change your life. No, not necessarily it changed my life, but it won't necessarily change your life. I am going to try and write 50,000 words this month. This is a terrible idea. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, except that I would really like to have written 55,000 or 50,000 words by the end of the month. So that's my goal, which is approximately 2,000 words a day. It's actually 1,667, but it's basically 2,000 words a day. I like to round up because, makes life better. That being said, it's day 2 and I've written 0 words. I'm off to a great start. I got to talk to my writing coach yesterday, so I have some clear direction on where I'm going with this novel instead of working on this chapter that I thought needed to go next. I think I'm just going to axe that entire part of the storyline because I don't think it fits with this particular story. I don't know. We'll find out as we go along. I might end up writing it later, but I'm going to stay with the main character that I started off with and write more from her perspective. Let me back up. So 50,000 words, they don't necessarily have to be new words. Right now, my current process is I fast draft, but then I go back and rewrite scenes, like almost immediately. So I'm going to count both of those. Here's my list of 3 things to do today. Write 2,000 words, edit on a short story, read on this book. I'm that far through it. I was going to try and finish this in June. I obviously did not finish this in June, so I get to finish it in July, and then we'll read, the royal we of me, myself, and I, will read a different book. You guys do understand that I read more than one book at a time. This is the book that I'm currently reading to study craft. She does really interesting things with description. And I think I know what she's doing with the plot, but I'm not entirely certain, and I'm really excited to figure out if I guessed correctly. We'll see. And this is her debut. This is not her debut novel because this is novel number 2, but her debut novel, for a debut novel, it was really good. Like, I like the grittiness and the texture of her writing. There are other things I don't like, but that's okay. Every, story has its audience. I'm not necessarily the audience for Anna Smith Sparks stories, but she's, I like how she writes. I'm just not a grimdark fan. Because that's what she writes. She writes grimdark. It's like Game of Thrones-esque. Okay. Let's actually write and get something done so I'm feeling less overwhelmed. See you, right there, where you can see me typing. It's a while later. I don't know how much later, a couple of hours, at least an hour and a half. I'm still procrastinating. Things I have done. I have written 100 words. Go me! I've also designed the aqueducts that provide my city with its water. I have ordered throw pillows for my couch. I did a bunch of stuff that I didn't actually need to do. Because procrastination. It's not important how the city gets water. I mean, it is important, but it's not important. Except, is it important? It might be important. I don't know yet. I didn't need to figure out which district had their own cistern. Or did I? Good. I don't know why I point at the camera like that. Good morning, it's Friday. This is a normal vlog thing for Rosanna. I start vlogs on Thursdays, and then you never see me again until Friday, because Thursdays are weirdly busy for me. And that's how that works. Okay. Second verse, same as the first. I wrote like maybe 200 words yesterday. So my Camp NaNoWriMo is going really well. I have to write more than 200 words today. This is going to be fun. Okay then. Same tasks as yesterday. Write 2,000-ish words, edit, read. Those are the 3 things I am doing right now. Like, I am recognizing that those 3 things are the things that will move my career forward. Because as much as I, as an ADHD writer-like person, love to come up with new ideas and like grand schemes and like make YouTube videos, and like for a while I was like really into posting on Instagram. Right now not so much, but for a while really into posting on Instagram. You know, like that kind of thing. At the end of the day, my goal is to write books. I watch these like entrepreneurial types online and watch the businesses that they create, and I think about like, okay, what would that look like for me? And I realize that's not what I want. What I actually want is to just write and put out more and more and more stories for you guys to read. So if I'm going to do that, guess what I have to do? Write and edit and read. Doing that over and over and over again sounds boring, but that's what we're doing. I'm trying to be a little bit more like conscientious about my writing. So I've put my phone away. Not that you'll be able to see this very well, but Wi-Fi's off. I'm gonna turn my music on. Theoretically. Right. Okay, so I wanted to talk about, oh look, there's my finger. I wanted to talk about this really quick. I do a thing when I'm writing where I put brackets around words, and I realized I actually find this really interesting, and I'll show you why. Okay, so quartermaster. This is the appropriate word for this particular situation. However, this is a word that's used in a lot of like Middle Europe-centric fantasy, and that's not necessarily what I'm writing in this thing. So I have to decide if this is the appropriate word for my particular story. Because yes, I'm writing fantasy. I'm even writing like, it's not even like urban fantasy or something like that. That is the word that I should use in this situation. Well, that is the meaning that I am trying to equate. However, I am also trying to paint a picture of a very different kind of place. So I'm not sure that's the word I'm going to end up using. Anyway, that's one of the ways I use brackets. I like brackets. Brackets are helpful. It's a little later. I'm not sure how far later because I'm not keeping track of time today. Weird. Well, I am keeping track of time, but not that way. I have written whatever 661 minus 189 is, like 400-ish words, which is better than yesterday. I came on here to talk about something. Oh, to talk about being distracted. Part of what's going on is I write slower these days than I used to, because I used to write a lot faster. Now I'm much, much slower. I'm dealing with a lot of ADHD brain right now, which mostly is like an impulse control issue, which you're like, what does that have to do with writing, Rosanna? Let me tell you. That's why I got on camera-ish. Typically, for me, impulse control revolves around my brain has a thought and I follow the thought. So like yesterday, I only wrote 200 words. I researched a bunch of stuff. I like looked at literary agents. I don't have a novel yet. There's no reason for me to be looking at literary agents. I did a bunch of things. So today I realized that that is what happened, one of the things that happened yesterday. And so instead of letting myself do that, did a couple of things. I put my phone in a drawer, so I couldn't see it, can't see it. Turned off my Wi-Fi. I had to turn it back on to figure out how to download my music so that I could actually have something to listen to. Turned off my Wi-Fi. But most importantly, I have just like a piece of sticky note, like next to my keyboard. And I just write down like everything my brain wants to think about. It's like, you should Google this and this and this and this. And these are, these are the things that like distract me really easily. Because I go, I wonder, like, when did surnames come about and how were people identified 2,000 years ago? And then I forget that I'm writing and, I go down a really interesting path, but it doesn't help with what I'm actually trying to accomplish, which is writing 2,000 words right now. So my battery thing is blinking. I have like an hour more before I need to get going and go to the gym. Do I run errands today? I don't think I have any errands to run. I think I'm just going to the gym. I'm very, very excited. I'm always excited to go to the gym because there's people. I'm an extrovert. Come on. There's people. Even if we are socially distanced, appropriately socially distanced, there are people that I get to talk to. It's very exciting. But let's see if I can write. I don't know if I can write 1,500 words in an hour. All right. Wish me luck. I'll see you, I don't know, at some point in the next time. Okay, bye. Okay. It's like 4:30 now. I am finally done writing 2,000 words. Oh my gosh. My brain is tired. How did I do this before? Like, I've done so many NaNoWriMos. I mean, and I know, like, in the last couple of years, I've been really focusing on short fiction, and so it's like, I'm out of practice writing a novel, but this feels so hard. And it's only, well, technically it's day 3, but it's like day 1 in my book. Okay, so I finished, my total words for yesterday and today are 2,200. I wrote like 189 yesterday and then like 2,000-ish today. So at least there's that. Hello, good morning, happy Monday. It is the 6th, which means we are 6 days into Camp NaNoWriMo. I didn't do anything over the weekend because I take Saturdays off. That's the day that my husband and I have agreed that we do nothing. Sundays we do like general chores and sometimes I work. Saturday night, my beloved dog tangled with a skunk. So Saturday night and Sunday, I spent deskunkifying my house and my dog. There's still whiffs. I'm just... Anyway, welcome to the writing vlog. I got a lot to do today. I don't want to do any of it. I'm going to go to the gym. I don't want to do that. It is Monday at its best here today. So, same things to do today that I do every other day. Write a bunch of words, edit a short story, read. So, let's get started. I'm getting a new desk here in the next couple weeks, which I'm very excited about. But that also means that I'm hoping that this situation is temporary because it's kind of annoying to have my computer in the closet. Okay, so one of the things I'm trying to do is be very aware of when my writing goes from Rosanna imagination to I've read this 500 times and I'm writing it because I've read it 500 times and it's the first thing that my brain came up with, because the first idea your brain comes up with is generally like, I saw this in a TV show once. One of the things I am trying to be very intentional about with this novel is recognizing when I'm writing something that's like my idea or when I'm writing something that's like, I've read this 500 times and so I'm writing it because that's the first idea my brain had. Now, this is different from recognizing and using tropes. Tropes are very specific constructs within a genre that allow the reader to have like basically a trope like lets readers have hooks in their brains so they know kind of what to expect. And like a good trope, like a good use of a trope, like subverts that, and so the reader expects one thing and they get another thing, and like it's kind of a pleasant surprise. I realized that I put something into my second, I don't know if I want to call it a chapter or a scene or whatever we're calling this. In the scene that I read on Friday, I finished writing on Friday, I like went and talked with my husband about it. I'm like, have you read this in a book? He's like, yes, like every single fantasy book ever. I'm like, damn it. I could have had to fix that. I got some work to do because I want to change what I wrote. It will make the book better. And we're getting into some of the good stuff. So that is always fun when we get into like the actual inciting incident and the actual like things that move the story forward. And yep, I love that. And I need to figure out how to like add some world building into this chapter. No info dumping, just world building. I didn't end up finishing this book. I got that far, but you can't see. I got that far into it, like chapter 3. Yeah, I like how this author builds her world. It's super well done, and it's just like, it's literally chapter 3 that I'm using as a reference. I think I got through chapter 4. Explaining how the world works combined with how the main character moves through the story, it never felt boring. And it never felt like I was being told, this is how the world works because you need to know, because I don't know how else to work it into the story. Instead, you have like vivid description paragraph about how the world works, like vivid specific description as the character is moving through the world, vivid specific description as the character moves through the world, then a paragraph about like, here's information you need to know, and then a paragraph that builds on that information as the character is moving through the world again. So it's not just like in 1437 the elves conquered the dwarves. 300 years later, you know, the ramifications are still coming in because they are long-lived races and there's talking trees. This is not bashing Tolkien. This is bashing Tolkien like lookalikes. Here's my note here. It says, experience, visual, feeling, noise, movement. 2 paragraphs, information, experience. Even though there's a lot of information added into this chapter that you need to know about how the world works. Because the first 2 chapters are movement and things happening and all this. Like, chapter 3 is like where you need a little bit of grounding and you need a little bit of like what's going on. She does an excellent job of capturing that, like the balance of vivid, specific, textural description as her characters are moving through, as her character moves through the world. Here's how the world works. So I thought she did a really good job in this. I'm actually going to write now that I have spent 15 minutes procrastinating on camera. Camp NaNoWriMo. Here I come. Thank you so much for watching my first NaNoWriMo vlog. If you're doing Camp NaNoWriMo, let me know down below what your project is, what your word count is, how you're feeling about it, that sort of thing. And, you know, do all the YouTube-y things. Comment, like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Yeah, that one. I appreciate you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one, which should, like, be in a couple of days. I think I'm gonna try and do vlogs every 3 days. If not that, then every week. Because setting myself a goal means it's probably not gonna happen. Alright, thanks. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye.